You know, one thing that has been missing from new releases is that style of PS2 and PS3 era games. You know, where you're walking on water in the canals of Venice, fighting werewolves? As out of nowhere during the Xbox showcase, Koei Tecmo announced a remaster in Unreal Engine 5 to Ninja Gaiden 2, launching that same day, and my goodness, it is sure living up to the name of it being an 80 gigs download size. It's a game from that era of hack and slash, where you go through stages around the world, fight enemies with sick combos, and then suddenly, the boss is a dragon!
I'm seeing a freaking dragon.
So the original game was developed by Team Ninja on the Xbox, fitting name, then a reimagined version the next year for the PlayStation 3. This game blends both of those two versions together, taking the stuff from each of them into this new package with new graphics. I wanted to see how this was because there's a certain charm to those hack and slash games you rarely see now. Just fun when things in the story really don't have to make sense, but you play this with a gameplay which is insanely fun, and Ryu can have his moments.
Genshin, go back to hell.
So the game has 4 difficulties. I tried it on hard and just ignore what you're seeing here. It's a lie right up a gamer. As we see Tokyo, but like futuristic? Where Sonya is asking Muramasa where Ryu is, and I'm like, wait, I picked English voice acting. Maybe they do this because they're in Japan? But then Sonya is meant to be CIA, and okay girl, tell me how you speak Japanese so fluently, that stuff is hard to learn! Also, buddy, clean up this place! Alright! However, she gets captured as Ryu appears.
It slices your multimedia data.
So the Black Spider clan took her, and she was mentioning something about the Archfiend, where you go and follow her, and the levels are linear, with mini areas where you know they're gonna spawn some enemies for you to fight. And you got pretty much 2 attacks, a light and heavy.
No! Blood!
Look, YouTube really won't like this video if I don't do this. So over the game you get multiple weapons, from the dragon sword to the big sword, and my favorite,
it slices your multimedia data.
And each weapon has combos you can check up, making it like a fighting game where you probably should learn to practice these moves to finish off enemies. But get that stuff out of here! It's a button masher house if you're me, but you're not me. So you can look up guides because you can pull off the cool stunts. I'm me, and I'll be along on the cold dead ground before I give up button mashing. Look, I'm having fun, you're having fun doing combos, she's barely wearing any clothes, and he's in tight leather pants. Everyone is happy! Where this game has dismemberment and you gotta get the limbs off to stop them attacking. But remember, even then, they can still...
You should have gone for the head.
As you need to take off the head to kill them. Well, mostly, as sometimes it's just a damage number, where I've seen guys still have a head, but the pain of the world with no free healthcare kills them over. Okay, so you know it's an old game where no matter what you press, you won't climb the ladder faster, even get a trophy for falling off. Why don't they give that to YouTubers who put this here? Now I will say learning some of these combos can be cool as opposed to button mashing, because the enemies will switch up on you, and you got L1 to block and then you can dash, but it's nothing like a Souls game. And so sometimes you gotta whip out different combos. You can press circle to throw stuff at enemies who will also throw stuff back. Oh fuck hell, finally! And they dodge and jump and interrupt your combos, where if you get kills and drop these orbs, yellow is money, red is later I'll explain, blue is for more health, where you take permanent damage with the red bar. If you're out of combat, you will regain this much again. See, it's like a fighting game. But you get these rest points where you heal and save, and I heard this was way more generous in this game compared to before, where you also get these items to heal you from chests. So then for those tough enemies. Hey Doc, I got a weird feeling in my stomach. Okay. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. X triangle, X, X, X triangle. Huh? Now you pick up these arts where if you press triangle and circle with these bars, which is what the red orbs fill up. See, you waited and now I rewarded you with more info. Who's a good viewer? Who's a good viewer? But this does a move where you're invincible and you shoot fireballs or slice some wind. I have these birds damage over time. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. But the Inferno one is probably the best one. It automatically hits enemies and you upgrade it to hit more enemies. It is such a clutch move when you're swarmed to whip it out, and it usually insta-kills most small enemies too. And maybe sometimes I accidentally pressed it during my button mashing, but no one can record my fingers during gameplay.
No one will ever know!
Also, being a ninja, Ryu can obviously wall run. Well, you press X running at a wall and he does it. And I mean, running is weird because you don't have a run button. Well, you just hold the stick more and he'll briskly walk. So you know what, in the old-fashioned way of, well, I need to move quicker. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna dodge, jump, spam. And yep, I'm sure this is him moving faster. So when you finish off enemies, you usually get a finisher move and their orbs pop out. It will automatically be collected after a while, but if you hold triangle and charge it up, you do a stun lock combo, and if there are orbs on the field, they build your charge quicker. So what you want to do is kill a few, then charge triangle where it should be instant if you have enough orbs floating around. Well, it should. Also, it is pretty amusing where you learn the game's tutorial. It's literally some bozo just lying there with books he dropped like,
Take it, friends. Arm yourselves with knowledge.
now I pick up the spear weapon, which is honestly so much more fun than the dragon sword. Longer reach, and I think I just like weapons where you can hit anyone all around you. So you also got a shop where it's just a statue of an old man, and you can buy these healing items, a max of 3, and a revive, which costs a lot, but in fights you get to use it to revive back up, where enemies' health will stay the same, so you definitely want to save it for the boss fight. And you can upgrade the weapons up to 3 times, which actually unlocks more combos for you to do. I definitely noticed this when I mashed X, it would do different things. So we head into the building. Oh, okay, suddenly, where? Hey buddy, you know what that deserves? And we gotta make our way up to the clan's building by wall jumping. Oh god, in every old game this sucks so much. I hate wall jumping, I'm dreading this. Oh, they made wall jumping fun and easy. Look man, being a strong ninja doesn't mean he'll pass the SATs. So what's so amusing this whole time, the dub for the game was actually downloading in the background. Yeah, it was like some PS5 glitch where it has to download the voices only after you start the game. So now, 40 minutes in, I got the voice acting I picked.
You shall not pass.
So our first boss, this guy who turns into a giant spider. Jeez, these Spider Clan people weren't joking. And it's honestly not that hard. I mean, if you're going for a no-hit run, sure, maybe it's hard. But on normal, just bonk the spider. And with some stormtrooper aim, Elizabeth here is insulted how bad our aim was and chucked Sonya at us. And somehow with those muscles we catch her without breaking any bones. So Sonya is like, the fiends are trying to resurrect the Archfiend. Okay, are these fiends in the building with us right now? And so they're heading to our clan, which is at Mount Fuji, where the chapter ends as we see our dad fighting the Spider Clan's leader, and we rush back, very eager, so eager that we turn into Jesus. I also picked up this new move where you can press jump and X together. You will grab the enemy and throw them, which is so funny because this has a chance to kill them when it hits the wall. You also pick up the bow and arrow with L2. You're meant to use it to shoot at faraway enemies. It's not a real mechanic until suddenly it is in one of the final bosses with no telegraphing, so I didn't know what to do until someone online said to use the bow, and I was like, oh wow, you can use the bow on the bosses? I thought you weren't meant to. I love 2000s gaming! So this guy and Elizabeth get the mask from our clan.
You must be Genshin.
Dun dun da da.
And we gotta fight him as Elizabeth runs off with a jump and light attacks. Man, they're seriously so broken here. Well, them using the mask awaken the 4 greater fiends. And we gotta stop them by heading to New York, and after a loading screen, Ryu is suddenly in New York. What, did he take a commercial flight or something? So each general are based on the elements. This greater fiend is electric. And here we get a new weapon, the Vigurian Flail, which is honestly my favorite weapon in the whole game. Then to win! So the levels are the same, then that you usually get story at the start and end, with everything in between as you going through the level, no winding parts, just defeat new types of enemies, but they also added in platforming where you need to get to this side. However, the wall running was so finicky, but I then remembered, with the sword, if you do a jump attack, it's a dash. Work smarter, kiddo. And it is cool, we can easily swap out weapons on the fly with the D-pad. But then you got more wall running where you gotta press it again to jump onto consecutive walls, and man, I know PS5, a game one platformer of the year, but I'm saying it. I don't like this controller to platform where I don't got a double jump.
We used to beat people up for saying things like that.
And of course this game has swimming. So now you start to see the bosses becoming... What the hell? Why is it like Windows 2000 graphics? Where it's not hard, just attack and dodge the fish. Man, is New York really like this? Also, yeah, you do fight more new enemies, like here you got these fiends, where they now have more health. There's also these magic guys who keep teleporting around and will spam fireballs onto you, which is really annoying since it cancels your combos and usually they're off screen. The camera isn't the best and these guys are always the ones you want to get rid of first. Pretty much any range guys go to them first since your combos always get stopped anytime someone throws a rock at you. Anyway, after a cool guy explosion, we climb the Statue of Liberty where I pick up the big sword, and yeah, against the fiends it feels like my weapon didn't do that well, so this one does way better. You sort of learn and can feel it with the game when your weapon isn't working, so you can just swap it out anytime. And we finally meet Alexei.
The repugnant stench of the dragon lineage.
And after some jump spam, we easily win. He falls off, and I honestly don't think he's dead. Games like this usually make it a big deal when they die. I think he's gonna return. And the next level feels so disconnected because it's back in our village where some kid gets kidnapped and we play as a different character, Momiji. These are guest characters where you only get one level as them, and they have their own set weapons and moves where it's a nice change of pace to try something different. She also has her own Azuna drop. The level isn't that long as you find the red and blue Tengu. Keep Azuna dropping me! As we defeat them, which is probably the toughest fight since I never got the hang of her weapons, as we save the kid. Lucky brat. So into Venice where the Wind Fiend is like, oh, I'm bored. Werewolves, find me a strong guy to fight. So they rampage through and we head up to fight him, where there's more platforming with these bars. As you go through and it takes you to this water place where these goddamn piranha ghosts, the minute you attack one, they all swarm you. So you gotta shoo them off as you fight this boss, which was pretty easy. But then you gotta climb up, and if you fall off, you gotta climb up all the way again. With Ryu's jump, he doesn't move that good, as when you press it, he like jumps in that sort of direction and there's no course correction, so a few times. Yeah. So more new enemies. As we fight the wolf in the Colosseum. Everyone who subscribes gets more good videos in their feed. So yeah, he was tough, not giving me a chance to get my combo started. The revive was super broken because it literally gets you full health again while he stays the same. And we win, but the wolves attack, so Sonya comes in with some support. Well, maybe not. As we fly away with her. And now we got another guest character, Rachel, who is in New York, and oh my goodness, I love her so much for the hammer weapon. I like big weapons. Hey, come on, bro, this is a crazy weapon. So her level is also short where you climb up and fight this greater fiend, but you don't fully kill him because, you know, Ryu's meant to do it. He's super annoying because he hovers there, making it so hard to hit, as now Ryu and Sonya crash into this flying fortress to get the mask back from Elizabeth and Genshin. So like we explode the ship, they escape, we escape in the cheesiest way possible, and we fight another greater fiend. as we get the final guest character, Ayane, who honestly I didn't like combo-wise. I always seem to get interrupted during the combos. I think I prefer characters where I can do my own thing without getting stopped. I don't care if my combos are bad. I don't care if they miss. I don't care if they don't do damage. I just hate the feeling of I start and then I instantly get stopped because the character isn't quick enough or I don't fit their playstyle. But yeah, that's where I'll stop on the main story. I will say it gets wild on some bosses. Most are still fairly easy or normal. Actually, a lot of the bosses are more easier than the general enemies when they swarm you. Elizabeth, who you obviously do fight, is so annoying because she has ultra instinct dodging your moves before you even do them. Even dodging my Inferno, which no boss before has done. You're meant to change your weapons, which was odd because then you only get 3 levels of upgrades. So if you pick a weapon you really like, you max it out so early in the game, so you have a lot of currency if you weren't spending on other things, which is I guess a good way to keep you on your toes. This weapon might be bad, so you should be using the other ones, like one with more reach, which was so lucky that I just upgraded the spear, so I was okay for this fight. But say if you only wanted to stick to one weapon, I can see this game getting very annoying because like with this fight, they really made me feel I had to change it up. The pacing also becomes weird where some chapters can be like 1 hour long while others can be 10 minutes, and even near the end, it becomes so much like Bloodborne, not just the theming, but resource management. You have to fight back-to-back bosses, you're miles from a healing point, so you don't have enough items to keep going. But I did beat the game, and over the course of it, you are earning these tag missions where you can pick 2 characters, 1 AI, and try to get ranks fighting waves of enemies together. And of course, Rachel is so broken. We even get a combo Inferno attack. Then you got challenges of the chapters to repeat where you gotta speed run them but also beat all the enemies. I thought it was just speed running, so I kept dodging everyone and I didn't get the highest rank. But doing these, or say doing other things like beating the main story on hard, will get you outfits for the characters. But if you're playing on PC, I'm already sure there's ways around that. So Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is such a refreshingly fun game, where it reminds you of that janky old time.
I have to go now. I have to go now.
Yet you were used to it back then because that's what games were. Of course there's no way to climb the ladders quicker. It uses a newer engine to make everything look so good in the same art style while keeping the gameplay extremely enjoyable, regardless if you're using combo inputs or you're button mashing, and it'll provide challenge that is very different from most games, either being Dark Souls to have that challenge. I hope this pushes more companies to revive their old action adventure games, a new coat of paint, because like me, I missed out on these games during that time. I only remember Ninja Gaiden. I tried out one of the DS games with a ROM and you had to hold it sideways and touch it. It was horrible. But this game is not. And it gave me a new favorite character.
Now behold. Whoopsie.
It really is an enjoyable game, still a bit frustrating in some parts. Like some enemies just stop interrupting my combos. And that is why I think Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is worth your time. So let me know what your thoughts are on the game. Do you wish for the hack and slash genre to be brought back with all the jank? And hey, subscribe if you're new, and alright, okay, bye!
Trojan, Ramses, Magnum, Sheik.